And a bunch of men.
No, not me.
We are good looking, and that's why we need to do this live.
Oh!
All right, we're live now on the internet in very famous. The one before
Brian couldn't make it.
Yeah, and then it was just
We
Brian and
both
I
couldn't
last,
make
and
it.
then
Yep.
and now it's all of us again, you guys.
Wow.
So good job on us.
Nerdstravaganza.
Wow.
Your track record's looking pretty good though, since the recording studio is at your house.
Yeah.
That does make it a little
Man, and
harder
you
for me
even
not
had
to
a
attend.
kid. I mean,
Yeah.
like your wife gave birth and you didn't miss a show.
I got
It's not like
skills.
he gave birth or
He's
anything.
got his priorities in check.
Come on.
I've
Let's get
got
real.
skills. All right.
Am I right or am I right?
Well, there's.
I am right. I know. I'm not saying anything wrong here.
All right, tell me when, and I will hit the big red button.
When?
I say we fly with this.
All right, here we go. Oh, cool. That's what the
There's a
awesomeness about
fly.
having the garage door open. And this shit's for real.
Are we actually recording?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh no.
Welcome to CastaBlasta Season 3, Episode 9. With me is Chris
Hey there, Brian.
and Johan.
Stay a while
And-
and listen.
Nice. And
I have no
Jeremy.
reference.
I have nothing witty to say.
And, of course, I am Brian.
Hey there, Brian.
All right, so...
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
We probably should mention off the top that this is the first time all of us have been in the new spot, and so it might be a little echoey in here.
This might
Yeah.
be a little crazy.
Could be a
we
little
don't really
echoey.
know. Yeah. We're not really sure. This is also the first time we've ever been in a row, so we can't actually see each other when we're making fun of each
Oh,
other's
good.
opinions.
That's
So
going to hurt a little bit.
That's a little rough.
That
for
means
me.
we can be a little extra mean.
Nice.
If
We
we
don't
look
have to look in
angry
each
at the
other's eyes.
camera, it's nothing against our listeners.
Nothing at all.
Right.
All right. So
You want me to kick off with our first story here?
Let's kick it off. Of course, we're gonna keep all the spoiler stuff at the end. Am I right, Chris? Am
You
I
got
right?
it.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, for the most part.
For
No,
the
yeah.
most part, we'll try to keep the spoilers at the end. We'll give you a little warning before we do any reviews that might be a little too spoilery for all you little kids out there.
All
All
right.
right. So what do we got, Chris?
Well, we should start off with probably some of the best news for a lot of our listeners and viewers out there. Futurama is coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yes,
such good news.
It is.
Yeah.
And this fly is coming back to my face
Yeah.
every now and then.
Right.
Right.
So I myself have stopped watching Futurama. I stopped before, like I haven't watched the last movie and stuff. I don't know. To me, it's kind of like where I'm at with Will Ferrell, where it's kind of like the same humor now, kind of repackaged, and I'm a little. I generally
but
enjoy Futurama, but
Yeah.
On a
See-
different wavelength from Will Ferrell, since Futurama's still funny.
See, I think Chris's point is
Oh,
that
boy.
the movies, well, they had some good parts, are not as good as the show itself. So, and I don't really think that's a takeoff. I don't think it's like a Will Ferrell thing. I don't think it's like the same thing over and over. I think it's that they just weren't as strong because they were trying to do like a
Yeah.
I don't know. I think,
4 episode in a row version.
And plus,
And
they
it
didn't
didn't
have
really
their
work.
groove on. You know what I mean? During the season, they were
Yeah.
producing
Right,
one after
yeah.
another, and they were rocking with it. When
and
the
also
DVDs
though,
hit,
the DVDs felt like a lot of times it was some of the jokes from the show,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
just
sometimes.
repackaged to be like,
Well, the DVDs.
hey, oh, look at the callback.
Well, the
Right.
DVDs were
Yeah.
3 episodes smashed
Yeah.
together. I mean, so
they were still enjoyable. I don't.
Honestly, if you ever sit down to watch Futurama and watch 3 episodes back to back, by about halfway through the second episode, you're bored. It works
Sometimes.
really, really well
Depends on the episodes.
in a like a 30-minute format. It does not work well if you're watching an hour and a half of Futurama. It's like The Simpsons. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they did okay with the Simpsons movie.
I thought it was decent.
But
yeah.
if you try to marathon The Simpsons, you just eventually like, I really hate Homer and Bart. I
Yeah.
never want to hear from them again.
I can
See,
see that.
I've watched all of the original episodes numerous times, and
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
I still like them. I think they hold
So where's
But
this
way
do you
coming
better than
back?
the
marathon them?
Simpsons.
Where is it coming back? Is it going to be on Sci-Fi or
Comedy.
Fox? Or?
Comedy Central.
yeah.
The Comedy
All right.
Channel.
It's
I think it's
13
going to be
episodes,
good.
right?
I think they're going to have like a. I think they're going to be like all jacked up, and they're going to be excited to be back. I think it's going to have a good.
I would
energy.
like to see them all jacked up.
Don't you think?
I like that they
Yeah.
don't have to commit to like a full length plot. You know, I
Right.
think that's going to make it way
Yeah, they
much
can go back
stronger.
to their fun little episodes.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can just
Possibly.
goof off.
So I wanted to talk to you guys.
Either way, it'll be better than The Simpsons.
And,
so.
and it's 13 episodes, right? Is that the commitment?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
I
yes.
believe so.
We have had 2 different things that have come out since the last episode regarding the new Predator movie. We've got Neil Marshall,
Yep.
who was the director of Doomsday, is going to direct a sequel to Predator. But then we have another news story here that says Predators is now going to be called Just Predator, and it's not a reboot. It's not a like the next part. It's a total sequel, and it's not going to be like they're not pulling a Star Trek and some of the other reboots.
Yeah, they're
we
not
had
rebooting
lately.
it, yeah.
What do you guys
Continuation.
think? What do you guys think? So they're going to continue, which honestly, I don't know.
That's
way
fine as long
better.
as it's not Alien versus Predator. It doesn't really matter. It's
but
not
they've
like
been the last couple two movies
What?
have not been.
You mean
No.
Alien versus Predator, which is an entirely different franchise.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it
really
really
if you
is.
think about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But I mean, if you think about like Predator 1 and Predator 2, I mean, they're so different already. So it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
really matter. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
no matter what they do, it's kind of going to be a reboot anyway.
I guess that's kind of the style of the.
I wouldn't
of the-
care.
It's just
if they
going to have like
rebooted
this.
it.
That just means they're going to have the
But-
same costume design for the alien. I think.
Yeah.
Really.
Right.
No, that's actually a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would care if they rebooted it.
Yeah, it
like
it wouldn't
of
really
all
matter.
the franchises to reboot, yeah, go for it. Just,
Yeah,
I mean, the whole point was
I don't
that it was
know.
super awesome in the jungle with Jesse Ventura. I
But-
mean,
And then the next one's with Danny Glover, like in the city,
Yeah,
and it doesn't really
It
matter.
really doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's just a Predator. It's awesome.
Yeah, you're right.
Whatever.
yeah, whatever.
I won't get too upset.
Screw you
then.
guys.
I just thought
And
Predator versus
CastaBlasta
Aliens
is
meant-
coming out definitively as nonchalant on this issue.
But looking forward to the movie.
Yeah.
Meh.
All right. So
I
you guys tell me
Predator.
who's Marcus Nispel? He the director of the rebooted Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
He's done a lot of current modern horror stuff, mostly reboots.
Friday the 13th,
and he also did Pathfinder.
and he's going
Yep.
to be directing Conan the Barbarian.
Yes,
That's
Not
so
to be
be
confused
awesome.
with the late night talk show
Actually-
host.
actually could
Right.
be could be pretty awesome. I mean, realistically, Conan the Barbarian, coming from the guy who directed Pathfinder, that kind of makes an awful lot of sense because
Yeah.
Pathfinder had a lot of weak spots.
Well,
but this, but
Yeah.
but stylistically, it's a good
Kinda
jumping point.
make
It's
sense.
got to make
Conan.
yeah.
Conan historically was much more bloody, much more horrific than the original movies
Yep.
with Arnold. Wherever, I mean, they didn't.
Oh yeah.
This
didn't really
kind
go
of,
into it.
come close.
this kind of stuff's got to make Arnold feel old. You know, these when they're rebooting something you did 20, 30 years
Yeah,
ago.
you know what?
tired.
I'm thinking there's probably other things in his life that make him feel
You
old
mean like
at
his-
this point.
his-
budget
bad heart.
crises and
Oh,
all that.
Yeah,
All right.
budget crises. That's what I was
Here's
thinking.
here's
of.
Yeah.
a here's a funny
Yeah.
rumor.
an Austrian when he's down.
Brian, you probably tell us a little bit about this. Rumors that the G.I. Joe director was fired, and then a new director editor was brought back in to save it.
Yeah.
That's just a rumor.
It's just
Yeah.
a rumor at this point.
I think it's actually been denied.
it has been
even.
denied and confirmed.
Denied by
Yeah.
the producer.
But the
At this
thing
point.
is the movie's going to be awful.
Yeah,
it's just
I mean,
going to be
it's-
awful.
I mean, what are you going to do? It's there's been a lot of this lately. I mean, we had this with
Wolverine.
great. Yeah, we had this with Wolverine, and before that, we had it with the Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like a lot of the nerd movies lately have had this problem come
That-
up
Yeah.
where
last minute.
Well,
last
the
minute
thing is,
yank of the
and
director,
part of
yeah.
it is like with G.I. Joe, they're doing it because it's an established franchise,
Yeah.
established.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many things they have to pay tribute to, like, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, like all this different stuff.
Yeah.
That it can't work. I mean,
no.
because it has to pay tribute to the fans, but it's going to overdo it.
Oh, it
and
totally
it's gonna totally screw the movie over.
Putting
Yep.
it into a live action genre, you also basically have to find a way to reboot it and make it believable for the common era,
Yeah.
for the
You really
modern
do.
era.
You really, really do.
So
Gonna
they,
suck.
they not only have to
Gonna suck.
It's
make
gonna,
all the
it's
fanboys
gonna
happy,
be
but
so
they-
bad.
It's gonna
and
be
I will
really
be
bad.
there. I will be there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Watching
It's-
it suck.
It's going to be
Maybe
worth
not opening
watching.
Big screen.
weekend, but I'll be there.
I'll be there opening weekend just
Yeah.
because. I mean, why not?
All right, but so something that
There
would
for
probably
shipwreck.
Why not, right?
something that would probably be have us on the edge of our seats if they ever actually would come through with it is Ghostbusters 3 still in limbo.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on
Yep.
with this, you guys?
Nothing's going on
So
with
we got
that.
no
No.
final script.
Nope.
Maybe
Not
we're
yet.
waiting-
It'll
Nobody has
happen
time.
though. There's demand for it. There's people.
Yeah, and what's his face
Well,
was just
attached.
on one of the late night shows
Seth Rogen.
saying that he was that they were working on the script. No, they
Oh, Harold Ramis.
Well, they do. So there was an initial draft of the script. There's nothing final yet, though. No actor or director is officially signed
Okay,
to the
okay.
movie. It's just a lot of people going around saying at various times, yes, they want to do it,
Sure,
and no,
yeah.
they don't want to do it.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Based
Right.
on that, we know
Maybe
absolutely
they're just
nothing.
waiting for the buzz to shake out over the video game.
Why
It
do they have
just
to
came
toy with
out,
my
right?
heart?
Oh,
It could be.
They're toying with
it'll
my heart.
happen.
We'll
It'll
talk about-
happen.
we'll talk
I'm
about the
nervous
video
because I like
game.
him so much, but
We'll talk about the video game in the video game section.
All
I got a
right.
few
All
things to say.
all right.
Oh my
Um,
goodness!
All right, you guys. So, in something that's going to probably completely change your life from this point forward. So,
Absolutely.
prepare
Boy,
yourself.
please.
Go, no, sorry, not Ghostbusters. The IMAX version of Transformers 2, 2 extra minutes of robot fighting.
Oh,
Your
man.
thoughts?
Thank God.
I'm hoping that
just
it's just
two
some
people
kid
playing
playing with
Rock
action
and
figures.
Sock'em?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's either a return of the Mountain Dew robot or the Xbox robot.
Dude,
Oh, that'd be awesome.
all I'm going to say is, come on, the robot fighting in Transformers was rad.
Yeah, it
It's
really
pretty
was.
cool.
It was extremely rad. I mean,
Yeah.
say whatever you want about the movie, and there are plenty of bad things to say. But
Right.
the robot fighting, come on,
It
you
was.
know you loved it. Even if you hate action movies, you're like, dudes, those were some great robots fighting.
They did well
That's
with
pretty
making
cool.
them actually seem like they had a mass and a weight in space.
Seriously.
knocking
They
over
did.
buildings and stuff.
They were
They did.
breaking stuff stuff all over there. They destroyed
And Bumblebee
that town.
talked through music.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Great.
It was great.
So, but I mean, seriously, if you add an entire 2 minutes just in the IMAX format, and we're not talking 2 minutes total in the movie in itself is supposed to be just like balls to the wall robot fighting, according to the director. But so if an extra 2 minutes,
2 minutes.
But see, that's just it. An extra 2 minutes. That sounds great.
Well,
that's just like an extra treat. We're not talking like it's
Yeah.
the director's cut with 30 seconds of extra dialogue at the end. No.
Oh, I wonder if it
2
will be on,
minutes
like, the
of
Blu-ray or
robots
something.
fighting.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
Now, there's been earlier reviews of it already
Yeah.
in England.
Right.
And
They love every second of it.
no, they say it's stupid and Michael Bay, but some enjoy it because it's knowing what they're going into.
About 80% of all the critics in the world, before the movie even comes out, they write the review and say it's stupid and Michael Bay. That's just come on.
but here's the
it's
thing.
a given. Michael Bay could remake could have made Gandhi, and everyone would come out and
No, he couldn't.
say, you know what? No, I'm just saying it doesn't matter what Michael Bay
That's
makes.
actually one he could not have made.
People are going to come out and say it's just Michael Bay, it's stupid, and no matter what he does, and then it's going to blow the doors off of the box office.
Brian, does it
and make
ruin
a
it
ton of
for
money.
you that the writers that were involved with Star Trek are involved with Transformers too?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
All
They're
right.
just writers trying to make a buck.
All right, I know. It's just sometimes if certain people are attached, you have a different opinion.
Nah, it's all good.
All right.
You know, McGee did a lot of really crappy stuff too, but you know what? I forgive him because he did good stuff. That's all
Okay,
I'm saying.
I
You do
gotcha.
good stuff, I
All
forgive you.
right.
If J.J. Abrams comes out and he's like, you know what? I really screwed up. I'm going to make another Star Trek movie. This time, it's awesome. I will forgive J.J. Abrams.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Will you?
If
will
he
you?
makes an awesome one,
Will you
And if he
admit that it's
admits-
awesome?
if it's awesome, absolutely.
And if he
Now,
admits-
could a detracting factor from its awesomeness be that it was made by J.J. Abrams?
No, but my pessimism will be through the roof until I see it because I have no reason to think it would be awesome.
All right, let's move on, you guys, you
Okay.
crazy kids. So we've got another.
John brought up JJ.
it's a good thing I'm sitting between you two.
No, you did.
I think I did actually. Well, I brought up. I brought
I
up
feel
the
like
writers.
stabbing someone
Actually,
right now.
Brian brought up JJ because
Yeah, it was
I brought up the. Yeah. All right. So we've
did.
got
I
another
brought
web
up
series
JJ.
coming out. It's Ridley Scott's new web series set
Nice.
in the Blade Runner universe.
Yeah.
Only not.
Cool.
but not due to
Yeah.
licensing issues with Philip K. Dick's Do Android's Dream of Electric
Wow,
Sheep.
you
What?
said
Not
that
so much
really
an android,
weird.
but a robot
What is
person.
this?
What are you talking about? What is this?
Oh, the web series is gonna be Creative Commons, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait a minute. What do you mean?
Nice.
What do you mean? What is this?
Do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep was the original. Was it a book or a short story?
Short story.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever.
Yeah.
I don't-
That
I've
the
never
Blade
read that.
Runner
That's
was
what it's
based on.
And it's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then Blade Runner, also
Cool.
great.
Written
but now,
by Philip K.
they
Dick.
do not
Gotcha.
have the rights to use the original anything.
Right.
They don't have the rights to any of it.
Really?
So
God,
Purefold
Its relatives don't really
is-
like the movies very
is
much.
technically being conceptualized as in the Blade Runner universe from the director's standpoint. However, it has technically nothing to do with it
I
because
wonder-
they don't have the rights to do it.
I wonder if that's influenced his decision to make it Creative Commons, so it's free.
Well, see, now here's the really weird part. So what really Scott's doing is, and I don't know if I fully can wrap my head around this yet, is it's Creative Commons plus open for advertisers. So they're trying to create this new web video thing to make it really easy for advertisers to mix and match
Oh.
the various pieces
Interesting.
that they make into their own cohesive storyline. So they're going to come out with, let's say they come out with 5-minute chunks. You can mix and match those 5-minute chunks however you want and stick
Right.
in your own ads. That's kind of what it sounds like, which kind of blows my mind.
That's interesting.
Plus,
Yeah,
it's
it's a really
Ridley
cool way to do
Scott,
things.
so
Huh.
And
I
Ridley
really
Scott
don't
has
know.
a pretty good track record. He's
Yeah.
pretty good track record.
All right.
There's a couple of ones that
see,
make me kind
right,
in
but
order
he's-
to make that-
overall.
In order to
Overall,
make the
yeah.
whole project successful
I'll
or
forgive
seem
him for the
successful
couple.
at all, you got to get a lot of people signed in on
A
doing
lot,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
We'll see.
All right. So the next story here was brought to us. Jeremy brought up to our attention. Now, Jeremy, help me pronounce this.
Akira.
Akira.
So this is a.
Akira.
It was an anime cartoon that
Anime
they were
movie,
talking about
yeah.
making live action.
Yeah.
Chris is a huge
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah, you can tell I'm a big anime guy.
Yeah, there was a
And,
lot of talk
Chris
for,
loves
for
anime.
quite some time, but it kept getting...
But it sounds dead because they've lost their director.
Yeah, well, and then when they lost the director, everybody basically confirmed, we're not going to do it anyway.
Is it starring Megan Fox?
Oh, well.
No.
That's what it would
Jim
take.
Carrey was it one... Or not Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey in Akira.
Awesome.
Hilarious.
Keanu Reeves. I'm sorry. Keanu Reeves was
Oh.
at one time.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
got
yeah.
a face
For the
like a
project,
Robin.
Huh, that
Yeah.
could be.
But, it would have been so
Huh.
Matrix-like anyway.
That kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know. Huh. All right.
Anyway,
So
it's dead.
one little
All right.
quick mention before we
My life has changed forever.
before we bang out the rest of the movie news here. Jeremy brings up the fact that Star Trek still going strong, totaling 230 million U.S. box office sales so far.
So far.
Brian
That is
prediction failed.
218 million too much. That's all I'm saying right there.
Brian prediction failed.
All right. So
If you go back, just to make solid note, my overriding prediction was that several years down the line, that everyone will agree that yes, it was terribly bad.
No, you
And-
also
and
said that it wasn't making any money.
I said yeah. That by the second and third weekend it was going to bomb, which it hasn't yet, which only reinforces the fact that it's a terrible movie.
all right, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, it
Because
totally
terrible
does.
Movies do
Biggest
well.
movie of the year.
All right,
Yeah.
so
I
92
got
on Rotten
nothing on this
Tomatoes.
now let's talk about something that Brian
come on.
should be down
Metacritic
with.
and Rotten Tomatoes are always wrong. Anyway, continue.
Brian, something you ought to be down with. The Bond franchise, to get serious about scripts, hires Peter Morgan. He's the guy that
Yeah.
did Frost Nixon, The Queen, Last King of Scotland.
Last King of Scotland's not bad, yeah.
And they're talking to this guy to write the next
That's
Bond
great.
movie.
That means that
Well,
the next
some
Bond
cred.
movie will be even more morose and wordy.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I hope not, because
Well, that's what the
I don't
guy
think
writes.
so.
I think our general...
Have you seen The Queen, Frost Nixon, and Last King of Scotland?
Those three movies
Good
are heavy.
movies. Really
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
movies.
yeah, I see
love
what you're
all
saying.
three of those
Yeah.
movies. Not the
Well, no,
Queen
he's
as
not-
much,
You
but-
know, I don't want it to be like too wordy, but at the same time, I don't want it just to be. I want Bond to have some character, and I
Brian,
think that those guys can
I
do
mean,
that.
you and I think specifically commented on the fact that the Sean Connery Bonds and things like that. They're not just like have like this instinctual know when to put out your fist to hit the guy and kick up the chair. They also are just smart and suave. So maybe they'll go a little more that direction.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But
Yeah,
they,
I
but
agree.
they also had super badass rocket launcher
Yeah.
cars,
Yeah.
wristwatches with
They
lasers,
need-
jetpacks,
they need that
hats
balance.
that could
Right.
cut through
They're
statues.
too
does
far
need
in
to
the
be in
super.
between.
They're too far in the superhero area now. They
They're
need to
not
bring
even
it.
in superhero area.
I don't
they're
think-
in,
yeah, I don't think
they're in just
superhero.
like
It's like
really
kung fu
sad
movies.
superhero.
And
yeah.
then like we said earlier, I think our general consensus for the last movie was
It was
if
great, but
it's
not
a good
a Bond
it's a
movie.
good setup movie. If the next one after it's good because of this one, then awesome. But
And-
otherwise,
yeah.
Right, I
fail.
think that is what we said.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
hate it as
it's-
much.
that's reasonable.
You guys didn't
I
love it.
didn't
thought
hate
it.
it. Hate it. It's
I
just
thought it was okay. It
Well,
was,
we're
I didn't
dealing
think
with-
it was
it
as
was-
much as Casino Royale.
I'm not going
Yeah.
to watch a Bond movie to see The Bourne Ultimatum.
Right.
Right,
We're
and that
dealing
is
with
kind of
That's
where it's going.
exactly
whole-
it.
the
It's
whole-
a pretty mediocre Bourne Ultimatum movie.
the whole
Yeah.
new Bond
The last one
franchise.
was.
Since the reboot has yet to pay off.
The
Right.
first one was
So-
was
I
Exactly.
liked the
too
first
bad.
one. I liked
thought
the first
No,
one.
it was good,
despite the ball torture.
Well, the first, well, even the first one, Casino Royale, still was very, very good. I enjoyed it a lot, and I've got it at home, and I like it. But it's very much not a Bond movie. In fact, it is like the least Bond of any Bond movie ever made, including like Moore's and everything.
But that's
No,
what
I
I'm getting
disagree
at.
with
is
that.
they-
I disagree.
Since they rebooted it, they're having to build the character from the start.
I don't know.
And build him up into Bond.
It was
The
pretty
Bond
non
movie,
Bond.
Yeah, they
So,
take
I
it from
think
his
it's
first double O.
non-Bond of the movies
Right.
that we've seen, not necessarily non-Bond.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
more to come on that.
Bleh.
All right. So you guys, I gotta say,
I just made a throw up noise into the
did a little
microphone.
googling before the episode started here.
Oh,
and,
no way.
And looked at the leaked pictures of Mickey Rourke on the set of Iron Man 2.
Ugh.
It looks funky.
in his
Boy.
costume, in his whiplash
If
costume.
you guys haven't seen this yet, you should go check that out. Now,
I can kind of buy
Captain
into
it.
his whiplash.
Who
though.
wants to party?
it's concerning. I guess sometimes they gotta add their magical touch. If
Yeah.
you look at, there are some pictures from Iron Man 1 that I think maybe I saw them on the DVD. I remember where I saw them, but it does not look good before they did some of their stuff. Like it.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, I mean, they got the special effects to do, and they got everything else. And
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
though, as Whiplash, it does kind of work. It's
No,
not
I
ideal,
don't know.
but
I think it looks pretty bad. Now, what's going for me is
not
that
a Whiplash fan.
no,
But
but
well, see, that's the thing.
John
though. Yeah.
Favreau is obviously a fan of Iron Man. I'm just gonna have to trust him until it comes out.
Exactly.
yeah, he is.
One
he
thing
is.
that I noticed, though, when I was looking up the pictures from Iron Man is that they have confirmed that the Whiplash character that will appear in the movie is actually a crossbreed. They're including portions of the Red Dynamo. Is that right?
Crimson
Dynamo. From that character into this character. So he's kind of like a mishmash of the two.
Right.
Don't know about that, but
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. But again, John Favreau, I mean, come on.
He
far,
obviously respects Iron Man.
He gets
and likes
it.
him, and he seems to have a good
He
idea
knows
of
the
what
material.
is cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it's not
So,
like it's
hold
J.J.
judgment.
Abrams here. I mean, he gets it, so I trust him until he really screws up.
and maybe
then
they'll
I'll write
put
him
like a
letter.
CGI different face on Mickey Rourke.
yeah.
Yeah, that might improve it.
I
Maybe
don't
they'll
know,
just completely
actually.
take him out.
I mean, I'm looking at his face, and Mickey Rourke kind of freaks me out a little bit. We're all like
Yeah.
looking off the side here, but
Yeah.
he freaks me out a little bit. But honestly, in a movie as a bad guy, it could work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
he does look Like he could be like a Russian bad guy.
I mean, come on. If he came up to
Yeah.
you dressed like that, that would freak us all out.
That's not a
we
leaked
would crap
picture.
our pants.
Yeah.
No, that was kind
I
of.
would
a
be at the wrong
publicity
kind of
shot, I
party.
think.
Claiming that's leaked is just to create viral marketing. I mean, that's
Yeah.
right up front.
Oh,
Somebody's
yeah.
taking a picture.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
And
Right.
but they've got it on Marvel.com, so it's not leaked.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not leaked.
No.
But it's funny. It is kind of on some of the news stories. It's kind of they play it up
well,
as
I
leaked.
didn't say leaked. I wrote release.
No, I know, but on a couple of the different sites when you
Leak,
search for it.
release, expel.
No,
What's the difference, guys?
Jeremy said released, but if you Google it, there's a few
Nice.
sites that claim leaked.
Leaked, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are crazy sites.
Those
Hey,
sites are wrong.
You guys, let's spend a couple of minutes and let's talk about video games.
Nah, I'm
Okay,
good.
awesome.
All right.
First,
well,
I want to say that I am very upset that I missed the E3 episode last
Me
week. I have
too.
to apologize. I'm
Me
always
too.
getting on your guys' case about talk more about video games.
know.
and
I know.
missed
There's
it.
a
And
lot
then
of
we
stuff I
make a
wanna
whole
talk
show
about, too.
it. We did
Yeah.
that just for you too.
well, let's
That
get into it,
sucked.
you guys. Let's
We
get into it.
scheduled E3 just to make you guys happy.
Before we go, I just want to say that it's pretty exciting. Ghostbusters 3 is out on Thursday, which is today's the 16th.
People have been waiting for this for a while
On
too.
the
Long time,
18th.
yeah.
Reviews are looking good. It's getting 8 out of 10s. It's getting 90s out of 100.
Mm-hmm.
It's out for everything: the Wii, the PlayStation, the Xbox,
Yes,
PC.
supposedly a little bit different for the Wii though.
Yeah, well, they had
Yeah, because you can like use the motion thing.
they had a different
And
dev
you can
shop.
have the lower resolution option.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
because the Wii couldn't
Also,
handle
the
some
no
of the
anti-aliasing option that works pretty. Also, don't use polygons option. That's a good one that you can get on the Wii.
the Wii had a different
It's
development
Pong.
shop for like
Called
the-
Ghostbusters.
for, like,
Yeah,
so
But you move your thing by pointing.
it does include multiplayer, which I was pleased to see. It's different on the Wii than it is on the PlayStation, PC, and 360, but it's there.
yeah.
And,
They just removed some of the fun so that it would be accessible to normal people.
Prejudging without having played.
we
all of us.
You're
Oh,
such a Wii hater.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
really?
Brian kind of hates
fun.
Nintendo.
I hate
Brian kind of
things
hates
that
Nintendo.
Earn it. You know what? I love Nintendo. My wife used to work at Nintendo.
I think you kind of hate
I have-
Nintendo, but she doesn't anymore, and you
Wait a
hate him
minute. Which one of us four have
funny.
a 4-foot tall Mario statue in their dining room?
now. You
Johnny.
have it ironically.
Which one of
No,
us?
that's my brother.
Which one of us has a Fox McCloud statue standing right next to him?
John.
I don't think that's Fox.
You don't think that's Fox?
all right.
If anything, I am the biggest Nintendo fan of the bunch by like.
But a Wii hater.
light
I
year.
think you
But
kinda
the
hate
Wii's a piece
Nintendo.
of
I
crap.
wanted to use this opportunity to bring up the fact
It's like
that
comparing the Super Nintendo to like the Virtual Boy. Of course, the Virtual Boy was crap, but it's still neat to like critique about. The Wii is the same way.
Oh.
In about 20 years, we're gonna look back on it and
Are we still
laugh.
talking
Can
about
you
this?
believe?
Yeah, I don't really like
Nintendo
Wii
made a
anymore
Wii?
either. I'm just having fun.
I'm talking about it because I like Nintendo.
that's awesome. Okay, so
Brian for the win.
now what do you guys think about we've got a video game. It's got all the original actors voices. It's
Almost.
It's looking
Almost.
good.
Doesn't have Sigourney Weaver.
Okay, it doesn't have Sigourney Weaver.
Good.
What do you think about these old
She's too busy
classics
making Aliens 12.
that we grew up loving, but not coming back in movie form necessarily, but coming back in video game form?
Listen, if they did a G.I. Joe video game with all the original voices,
Oh, awesome.
I would so buy that.
So let me ask
That's
you.
pretty cool.
And
They
it's
have
the
an
same
old
thing
one.
with
That was
Transformers.
fun.
They brought back the guy who did the voice of Optimus Prime for the new movie.
Yeah.
Same deal.
What would you rather have, a Ghostbusters 3 video game or a Ghostbusters 3 movie?
I'd rather have a movie.
Would you?
Oh,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But
you
I'm
get,
excited
I
about the
think
video
I'd rather
game.
you
have
get
a
more
video game.
you get more entertainment out of the video
Yes, I'm
game.
in
You
the
can
minority.
use it for you play it for
Oh,
longer.
you're in
I don't know.
Yeah,
You just
see,
get
that's
so
what I'm
like
saying.
wrapped up. You're not
Especially
totally
if it's
in
got
the world. I
multiplayer.
think.
Yeah.
And I think you could argue you're not totally in the world until you're like really watching it and then
Yeah.
seeing like what's
Yeah.
really
I
established.
agree too. I just thought it was an interesting thing,
Uh-huh.
and I think I've decided I'm going to get it for the 360 because it does do online play, and so I want live.
Yeah,
It's also supposed to look a little better on the 360, which
Which
is
is weird.
Right.
which
Which
is
you
John
already can't-
mentioned.
I don't know if I'm.
You
okay
can't
with
really
that.
tell unless you're
Yeah.
like looking at them. At least I
It's,
can.
Right,
it's
side by
weird
side.
how
Yeah.
these games come
Yeah.
out, and some of them look better on the 360, and some of them look better on the PS3. You always hear the PS3's got
you have
the
to
more
attribute
headroom.
that to the ease of developing on
I
the
think
Yeah,
so.
that's
yeah,
totally
for
what it
sure.
is.
I think
That's
so, yeah.
totally
For
what
sure.
it is.
Yeah.
which is funny because it's
XN8 for the win.
Sony shows this
That's
power
the third
here.
thing that's
Uh-huh.
been for the win.
But
for me.
Xbox Live is better than
Yeah.
PlayStation's Live,
Yeah.
so I can see why you do that. I don't like the fan always running, and I don't like being scared that my Xbox is going to break every time I turn it on.
Red Ring.
All right, you guys. So now let's get back in.
3 times.
We took our
Points
break.
made.
Let's get back in Nintendo. Rumor is the next Zelda game is going to require Wii Motion Plus. That's the
Right.
new thing they've just introduced, and
It's supposed to be way better. It's supposed to be like
And
how
the
it should have worked in the first
Link
place.
Oh, good.
might not even have a sword.
Yeah, I don't.
That
get
is ridiculous. Link is all about sword. It's
I
ridiculous
know.
for
Link
him
is
to not
about
have
a
a sword.
little elfin dude in a green
dude.
outfit saving a princess with
It's
a
about the
sword.
Master
You
Sword.
mean a sword and a boomerang?
Well,
Right.
right, and bombs.
And bombs.
Although
Yeah.
they didn't have
Right,
the boomerang
obviously.
in all the most recent games, isn't it kind of replaced with that
That's their bad. That's their bad.
Not in the most. Yeah, but most of the early.
No,
I mean, all
but
the
that's
early
what he's
ones.
about. But even take away Boomerang,
Yeah.
it's the Master Sword.
Yeah, it is.
It is the Master Sword.
That's their
That's
bad.
part of the game. Every time you got to get the Master
I mean,
Sword.
hell,
So
in
that would be a big
Ocarina
fail.
of Time, using the sword was how you traveled through
Yes.
time.
Yeah,
That'd be a big. That'd be a
I
big.
think,
fail.
I think it was Ocarina.
Well, here's the thing.
Whatever.
Miyamoto doesn't like
Put it
video
down.
games.
I
He
guess.
said
flute thing.
When you
flat
pull it
out he
you
doesn't
can-
enjoy video games anymore. He said that repeatedly. He plays folk music on his guitar, and he does. This is what he does, and
Awesome.
he says that he doesn't enjoy video games anymore. So now he's still heading up Nintendo, and this is why all the recent Nintendo stuff has sucked.
He ought to try
because
getting.
he's heading the video games up, and he doesn't care.
He ought to try getting a 360. He might like it.
Yeah, there's some good games.
Yeah, it's not bad.
All right, so
I don't really like this motion thing.
moving on to World of Warcraft, Blizzard announces the next patch, the Isle of Conquest, right, Jeremy?
Yes.
It's a new player versus player battleground and
Free.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? So this is obviously, I mean, how old is World of Warcraft now?
70 years
Old.
old.
3
Really
years?
old.
I think 3
I
years.
think
No,
three.
it's
No,
more
it's
than
older
three.
than that. It's older than that.
No,
Is it?
no, it's got to be like 5.
Yeah.
How much of my
Four?
life
No,
Four or
is
five?
no,
wasted?
it's definitely less than 5.
4 then.
because
It's 4.
Four.
It's 4.
It's gotta be.
4 sounds about right.
It's but they're still pumping out content for this thing.
yeah, they really are.
Well,
They're
still a
planning a
huge
new
user base.
expansion.
Although-
I mean, it hasn't
Yeah.
been officially released, but there are
So
rumors.
this
of
is
it.
They've
not
got
a-
3 or
this-
4 expansions left in them.
This isn't an expansion. This is a patch.
No, this is
but
just
because it's new content, it's
free
unusual that
content.
it's free.
Yeah.
Okay. What don't they always add a little bit of content? In
Yeah,
some of
they
the
do.
Oh,
patches?
yeah.
We've
this
all
is-
kind of let
they're
it
good
go,
with
but
that.
Jeremy's the one playing still. And
Yep.
are you liking it now? Is it still enjoyable?
Yeah, they've done a lot of things to make casual players like myself
What would it
more
take
able to
you
get into it.
to jump off WoW to another massively
Star Trek
multiplayer?
Online being successful, or the new Star Wars MMO being successful.
And you would dump.
I'm
WoW.
an MMO junkie, so I've got to have something
You gotta have
to
something to
fill
jump
the
to.
addiction.
All right. So, but you would possibly jump ship if Star Trek Online's good.
Star Trek or Star Wars, either of those. If either of those is a good,
Yeah.
is real
Star
successful.
Wars has had
and
bad
fun.
luck.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the
Galaxies
buzz
was
is
no
good.
good.
Yeah.
The buzz is good.
Yeah, I
on the
played
new
Galaxies up until they revamped it.
one. All right.
So
All right. So let's
And
move on,
everybody
you
hated
guys.
it.
Mirror's Edge 2, confirmed by EA, the vice president up there, Patrick Soderlund or whatever his name is.
yeah,
So what do you guys think? Mirror's Edge 2, you excited?
Well, I just played the demo, the first one. It got kind of mixed reviews.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I liked the demo, but I didn't think that I'd like a whole game of it. So I wasn't really huge into it.
I also.
That being said, maybe if they
only
make some
played the demo.
improvements,
But,
then maybe
I mean,
it'd be better.
I played the demo like 5 times. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was
I
all
wanted to
right.
get the game. It's a neat blend of gameplay and everything, but when you really get down to it with the highlighting of this is where you have to go and everything, it's really just a new age Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking when I got
I
it.
like
It's
Dragon
really like pressing things in the right combination.
works.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
not always like there is a path to go on.
Right.
You know?
It
But
felt
where it had
very
success-
open-ended, but
Where it had success was the time trials, right? Well, didn't they have like kind
Yes.
of time things at the end?
Yeah.
And there was an expansion pack for that, I believe, or an add-on for that.
right.
That
Honestly,
was pretty successful
it
too.
reminded
That's what
me a
people
lot of
seem to
Shenmue.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Shenmue?
Yeah.
It's totally like Shenmue.
Yeah, which was a good game.
Yeah, it was. It
Yeah.
was, and nothing like
Why
Mirror's
don't we
Edge.
yet have an MMO coming out for the consoles? It's all
Fantasy
computer-based.
Star was on the console.
Fantasy Star Online was for
Yeah.
the Dreamcast. Played that one for a long
Yeah,
time.
but that
Very,
was
very
one-
good.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I mean, the
also,
current generation
No,
consoles.
Final
Champions
Fantasy.
Online. Final Fantasy for the PlayStation 2
Champions,
is
I forgot.
online,
Mm-hmm.
and that's an MMO. And then Champions Online is coming from Cryptic Studios, which is
Oh,
basically it's
Champions
for both
is-
PC and Xbox 360.
Oh, okay.
Supposedly in the spring, it's coming out.
I'd love for Star
And
Trek
one of the
Online.
new Final Fantasies is one of the newer ones supposed
One
to
of
be an
the new
MMO
ones,
too.
Yeah, they're replacing the old Final Fantasy MMO with a new.
It
Final
gets
Fantasy
weird though,
MMO.
right? When you have the PlayStation
Yeah.
Network and you have Xbox Live, and
Yeah.
how do you know?
They
you're gonna-
might be separate servers.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be
For
jank.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, so the VP over at EA, the Patrick Soderlund guy, he said this is an interesting thing since we just talked about Ghostbusters 3. We've maxed out the Xbox 360, but not the PS3. He says developers are skeptical about the 10-year life cycle, even with the intro of Natal, which
Which is obviously BS. I mean,
I
like
agree.
nobody
Yeah.
really thinks that a console's going to
No.
last 10 years. Even
No.
even PlayStation, even Sony doesn't think that the PS3 is going
The
to
fact
how
last
long has
10
the
years.
PS2 been around now, though?
Well, a long time, but it's obviously kind of
72
outdated.
years.
So maybe
And they put out a machine.
in the sense that
Let's
there's
see.
stuff
When my grandmother was
Right.
born,
there's
was-
stuff that comes out for the PlayStation 2 still, right? So
Yeah, but that
I
doesn't
think
mean
so,
it's
yeah.
new or innovative.
no, but
Yeah.
I mean that
No.
could be what they mean by a 10-year life cycle.
oh yeah,
Well,
that's
if
totally
that's
what
what they
they
mean.
mean by that.
Yeah.
that people will refuse to
peop-
buy another one for 10 years.
It's actually it's not been out as long as I thought. I'm looking at the PlayStation 2 right now.
When was
it? Shipped in it became
2000.
in 2000 March 4th, 2004 is when it was generally available.
So its 10-year life
10
cycle
years,
isn't
I
up
guess.
yet.
But it's getting there.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, so
that's not
maybe
bad.
they're looking along those lines, but
Totally. That's what they're doing. I mean, because the
Yeah.
PlayStation 2 still sells like hotcakes.
Yeah. Well,
All right. Well,
that's
but see,
true.
the thing is that there is no way 90% of the 360s out there are going to make it that long.
and there's no way they're not going to develop another platform
Oh, they will.
before 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already. Didn't you say they're already working on the next Xbox?
They
now?
always are.
Yeah.
Let's
Everyone,
Well, I don't know if you guys
everyone
even
always
watched
pushes the technology
The
unless
video
they're
of the
Nintendo.
Project Natal, if you saw their Xboxes they were running on it,
Yeah.
it had
Yeah.
an expansion port that was like that big
I'm sure
on
it
the top
did.
of
I'm
it.
sure it did.
interesting.
Well, of course.
Oh no, this couldn't handle the Natal. No.
I know. I don't know if it was all hard drive or what, but it was like
And
It's
they're
all
saying-
hard drive. It's just one big hard drive.
They're saying late 2010 for Natal, right? Or Natal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next year.
I'll see when I
think so.
believe it.
they already sent developer packs to
Yeah,
the
the
big-name
dev
developers.
kits are out. Games are coming.
Yeah.
It's
That's pretty cool.
You know what
it's
else?
shipping next
You know
year.
what else had dev kits out? Windows Longhorn.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
that had dev kits
shipped.
out.
How'd that
just-
turn out?
That actually shipped though. They just renamed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it shipped. It
That was just
I just,
Longhorn
I
was
just
just
when
a
when
code name.
Microsoft is
Shipped
working on
down
something like
version.
this, they either when it comes to this kind of stuff, they either put it out too soon or they don't put it out on time.
Oh,
So I'm just
Huh.
saying.
remember,
So
when
you're
Apple
saying
shipped
that-
the dev kits
That
for Copeland?
Natal will come out. It just won't do any of the things that they're saying it'll do.
Come on, every company
It's going-
does that.
It's going
No,
to
I
rely
just
on the
don't believe
developers.
that
The
Right.
PS3 was late.
I don't think it's going to be
the PS.
I-
The
well, I'm
original
not saying it's a
PlayStation
Microsoft
was
I know, I
actually
know.
supposed to be a Super Nintendo CD
I'm not
expansion
saying
that
it's.
shipped like
I'm
3
not
years
saying
later.
this is exclusive to Microsoft.
No, yeah.
I'm just saying I don't think there is a lot of hype around this right now, and
Well,
I
of
just
course
don't
there
buy
is.
it. I don't buy it.
Well,
First of all-
I think it looks great. I think if they
It's
do it right,
happening.
it'll be really cool. I
First
just
of
don't
all,
think
I think the
it'll
current
happen right away.
360 is barely powerful enough to do it.
Yes, I agree.
There's no way it's going to be able to render 3D, do Xbox Live communications,
think.
and do this unless
And
like,
with multiple people. It's
unless-
like tracking
unless
multiple
like Jeremy
people.
said, and it's a separate unit that maybe comes in over USB,
It'll be fine.
and it has like a hardware.
It has plenty of. I mean, the
No.
360 is not like the beefiest
Doubtful.
unit in the world, but it
Doubtful.
can handle it.
We'll see. Mark my words, sir. By about the time
All right.
that,
I'll
by
mark
the
'em.
time about the time you're
that
saying,
down on
okay,
the
I was
mark.
wrong about Star Trek, you'll be saying, okay, you were right about Natal. Tell you what. All right. So one last bit of EA news
Wait a
before we
minute.
move on.
Wait a minute. Did you just say I was right
No.
in both cases?
No.
No.
Because that's
Vice versa,
what
sir.
I heard.
No, he's saying that you won't say that you're
It's
wrong.
weird that I can't
Just
hear
let
when
it
I'm
go.
wrong. All I hear is that I'm right. Isn't that
All right.
weird?
More
Yeah.
EA news.
Yeah.
They had a $1 billion loss
Touched my hand.
in the previous financial year. They had
I
to cut
liked it.
1,100
Sorry.
jobs
cold.
Yeah.
because, and this is the quote from their COO, their games haven't been good enough, so they're not selling.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good when they admit
At
it.
least they're not
Yeah.
blaming other stuff.
Yeah.
Although, that's kind of a kick in the crotch to their in-house developer team.
Yeah.
It comes from your COO.
Probably like,
Well,
hey!
I think
Hey,
a
our
lot
games
of-
suck.
I actually think that's one of their.
Crotch kicker.
I think that's one of their problems, Jeremy. Is I think a lot of their apps are developed by outside companies and then brought in for like finishing.
And
or,
they do
or-
publishing.
or
I think they should
license it.
just
Or
start
they
making
buy
2 Maddens a year, and
companies.
that'll solve
Yep.
the problem.
Unfortunately, it might. All right,
Well, I
so
was just thinking. I mean, their big in-house is EA Sports. And,
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
nerds don't like sports, do they?
Oh,
I
a
know
lot of
Madden-
people.
it
lot of
sells
people.
sells great.
sell.
Yeah, it's-
There are
Oh,
people
Madden
who
sells like
buy
crazy.
systems just for Madden.
Yeah.
And
I'm
honestly,
not
It's
one
like
of
it's 20-something year, right?
like on the Dreamcast, like the NFL 2K series and all of the sports 2K series was like one of the big reasons to get the system. Of course,
Yeah.
the system.
I don't even know what
died, but-
NFL
Right.
stands for. No, I'm
National
kidding.
Football League.
All right, you guys. So one last piece of game news that I have on my list, and you guys maybe think if there's something from E3.
Okay,
that
I'll
you want
think
to
about
cover.
that for a little bit.
Paramount Pictures has released Star Trek Timelines. It's a
Nice.
flowchart for use on Star Trek Online's website, confirming that the Star Trek universe has officially become a multiverse franchise.
Yay!
This is actually one of
Yep.
these. This is actually kind of an interesting deal.
It's
so
awesome.
the Star Trek Online guys, the good guys that are working on the massively multiplayer Star Trek, which I'm really
Yep.
excited about.
Really
too.
excited.
A lot of
Um,
people have been worried that the reboot made everything irrelevant, so we couldn't have Star
See,
Trek
it was
Online.
funny.
Who are you
This is what
referring
we
to?
get. This is
so-
well, no, I mean, I even talked about this. I mean, this is what we get. This is the new Star Trek is Star Trek Online. This is what we get. This is it. And so this has to succeed, and this has to do well.
So you've got
and,
So
and
they've
it looks they're doing great.
they've got a
Yeah.
nice visual chart that shows like where things branch off and where Star Trek
All of our
Online.
eyes are off to the
I
left.
when
I think it's worth pointing out, though, in their they have a standard timeline and an alternate timeline. The standard timeline is filled with interesting and exciting events, and the alternate timeline is
Has
a
so much
big
room to
piece
grow.
of boredom.
So much potential.
It's only got one note, and it's something like Spock destroys the universe.
Spock arrives, Vulcan destroyed.
People also
Just
really
says
like
whoopsie.
blank pieces of paper for entertainment too.
Here's the thing: is when I watched the movie, I thought of as soon as I thought of Star Trek Online, I'm like, oh well, it's just a different timeline. Like it's just so it's cool that it's official. I'd actually just kind of went under the assumption that's what it was.
Uh-huh.
So I guess my brain
There
is
you
just
go.
amazing.
Smart.
The fact that came
Smart.
from Paramount, though, I think that's good confirmation that they know what they're doing. Or
Yeah,
at
F
least-
Paramount. I don't care what Paramount
Wait,
thinks
that
of
didn't
Star
come
Trek
from
canon.
Paramount. They came from Cryptic Studios.
If you look at it,
Well,
it says published by Paramount.
it
It would
says
have
that-
to have approval.
No,
you think, of
Star Trek
Paramount.
Online is licensed by Paramount
Yeah, it says
because they have to.
it
Oh,
says
okay.
it says something to like the effect that it's endorsed by Paramount or
Of
given.
course, it's
by
endorsed by Paramount.
Oh, so it was
There you
made
go.
by the Star
They
Trek
have the
Online
license.
guys.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Cryptic Studios guys.
But
who
still,
know
because
their
they're
Star
licensed,
Trek.
they had to go back to Paramount and say, hey, is this cool?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't even know this.
You
is
dig
I'm
this?
pretty
You dig?
They're pretty crazy with their Star Trek intellectual property. It's kind of actually ridiculous because they crap on it so often. All right, so
Ain't that the truth?
moving on, Brian.
Moving on, Brian.
There's a little room around here that you jumped in the old car and drove up to the movie theater and saw yourself a little Land of the Lost.
Am I the only one that did that?
Yeah,
the
you
only
are.
one.
You are the only one. So we thought
Oh, you put it on a topic list.
we thought
so-
we'd get your thoughts on it.
Seriously, you
You're the
guys,
only one?
None of you guys wanted to
Yeah.
go see
I'm
Land of
waiting
the
for
Lost.
video.
Nope.
Here's
I
the
mean,
thing
I have
is-
a
Not a
problem with
movie
Will
for
Ferrell.
me.
It's
I
Will
need to
Ferrell.
see
I
it.
am done with Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Done. I
That's
don't.
really sad.
I-
I mean,
I'm
I'm
just
not a
burnt
huge
out.
Will Ferrell fan. He's all right.
I'm
It's
still
just
not done
it's
with
Land
him.
of the
I was
Lost.
even telling John before we started recording, I have problems with those Funny or Die clips sometimes because it's just so much of the same Will Ferrell.
Yeah, it is the same, isn't
And
it?
those things are usually
Over and
funny,
over.
but so even in those 30-second clips.
Between two ferns. check it
Well,
out.
you know, it is kind of rough. I don't know. So I went and saw Land of the Lost, and as I've said before, I'm a huge season 1 Land of the Lost fan. Huge fan. It's like, I mean, you guys have watched
I've
it all,
seen it,
right?
yeah. Mhm.
I mean, the
And they just
original
had a
season of
pitch
Land of the
rare.
Lost, any real sci-fi geek loves it and won't admit it to most of his friends.
Land of the what now?
Right. I mean, that's just kind of where it's at. If you haven't seen it, get to season 1. The rest of the seasons do not matter because season 1 is a self-contained looping storyline about all sorts of stuff. Anyway, so the Land of the Lost was cheesy.
Expedition.
See, now here's the crazy part. So, of course, it's Marshall, Will, and Holly on a routine expedition, right? And there's this greatest earthquake ever known, right? So they actually worked all of that into the movie.
Right.
But they did it in a different way. So they changed a lot of the plot, which kind of annoyed me for a little while.
Okay.
But they kept, like, every 2 minutes, they kept throwing homages
That's cool.
in my face.
And it worked. It wasn't
And-
like an.
oh
wasn't-
no, it
He likes
totally
it in the
won me
face.
over, like repeatedly.
Yeah.
Like literally, they would make repeated jokes. Like, so instead of just being this like ranger guy out with his 2 kids in a raft, it's literally like this like scientist guy who's studying dimensional travel, and this chick from Britain who looks kind of hot, and like this other guy that they met that's Danny McBride, and they don't know why he showed up. And then there's Marshall, Will, and Holly, right? And they're like, oh, so Danny McBride's like, hey, what are you guys doing out here? We're on a routine expedition. Yep, routine expedition. And they repeat it over and over again. And then when the earthquake happens, it's not really an earthquake. They literally say a line like, this must be the greatest earthquake ever known. And it made me so very happy.
Oh man, you're gonna make me want to see it.
And
There you go.
the movie itself is ridiculous. It has all the cheesiness that you would expect from Land of the Lost. They literally did not make it any more adult. They made the effects amazing, and they sprinkled in random sexual innuendo and humor for no reason, but I loved it. But otherwise, it was very, very juvenile from start to finish. And the lines were cheesy. The action was
It was
ridiculous
like
and
a
over the
trip
top.
Back to your childhood.
Yeah, they actually did a good job. Now, I mean, they didn't follow all of the original plot, which was, I kind of wish they would have, but it was all right. But the way they did it, they left the original plot open. So basically, they could finish the original plot, or you could assume that they did. They just didn't get around to it.
You think
Oh
like
wait, they
sequel
left
kind
it
of a
open
thing?
for a sequel?
No, not
okay.
really.
Okay.
Not really. The
They just
likelihood
left
of
it
a
open
sequel-
for a fill in the blank.
the original season 1 of Land of the Lost ends with a time loop, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't hit that part, but theoretically that could have
That's where
happened
they're
the way
headed.
they ended it.
Gotcha.
So, but they just didn't go to it. But they had the
All right, so
Slee
good.
stack, very, very much worth watching. If you do not like sci-fi, John, you probably wouldn't like it.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
calling you out.
Also, if
I'm
you
way
were
on the
not-
record for hating sci-fi.
If you weren't a child in the 1980s, John, or the 70s, you probably
Wait, I didn't see it either. Why are you picking on John?
wouldn't like it.
I was just gonna watch it on Blu-ray.
John went straight
It's
from
fun to pick on.
baby to adult.
Yeah,
Yeah,
baby
no
to
child.
adult, 1990s. Paula Abdul. That's all he remembers.
Yeah.
So was
Scat Cat.
Okay.
MC Scat
But
Cat.
no,
So you liked
it was a terrible movie, but it was very, very fun. And the fact that they did so many homages to the original, it made me happy.
Okay.
Yeah,
They kept some of the spirit
All right,
around.
all
And
right.
Okay.
that pleased me. I still wish, though, and this goes back to, you remember when we talked with David Gerald back in
Last season?
season before
that
last?
was like 3 seasons ago.
We
4 or
talked to
5,
him, and
at
he
least 2.
he was never involved at all with the movie. And I kind of wish he was the story editor in the original series or the original season of the original series, and I kind of wish they would have involved a few of them in it because there were so many great writers that was involved in the original series. Larry Niven, Ben Bova was involved, and David Gerald, and I wish, and actually Walter Koenig was involved too. But I wish they would have gotten at least some of them involved, if for no other reason than to throw their names in the credits. They would have done that. I would have gone back and seen the movie again immediately just because I have sci-fi author crushes.
Wow.
But
Wow.
anyway, no, it's worth seeing if you like
Okay.
you like hard sci-fi and you're okay with cheese.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
it sounds like hard sci-fi.
No, it sounds like it could be fun though.
Yeah, it does sound like it could be fun. I'm
It-
not
it
against-
is.
I'm not
It is-
opposed to seeing
It is most definitely distinctly sci-fi. It is. There's no doubt about it.
Well, right, it's
And Will
sci-fi.
Ferrell did
Hard
travel.
sci-fi.
Was Will Ferrell obnoxious?
Was Will Ferrell obnoxious? Less so than in most of the stuff he's in. Honestly,
That's
it,
why I
it
haven't
works
seen
a little
it.
better.
That's-
Yeah.
Because I used to be such a fan.
It was more of an ensemble cast and more about the land than it was about Will Ferrell.
Good.
Okay.
But
All right.
he still is in it. So if he pisses you off, it's still Will
Well,
Ferrell.
I mean, if the whole movie isn't about him, which is what I was worried about,
it starts
because the
off,
whole trailer's about him.
Yes.
it starts off focusing on him because he's the key guy.
Yeah, yeah.
But it quickly becomes an ensemble thing.
Okay.
So it's not bad.
The whole trailer was Will Ferrell
It was.
doing his jokes.
That's why I didn't go.
Because he's Will Ferrell and he does pull
I
in
know.
people
I
usually.
know.
Yeah.
So
Not me.
Well, what are you going to do if you're the studio?
All right. So, Brian, don't take your reviewer's hat off, you guys. We didn't get a chance
Okay.
since Johnny Boy and of course Jeremy doesn't watch it, but we didn't get a chance to review season 7 of 24, specifically the finale and just the overall season. So I thought let's just touch on that for a minute. Let's talk a little
Okay.
bit about 24 season 7,
Sum it up. Letdown.
this finale.
Yeah, this is letdown.
Okay.
See, we came up with the best
Yeah,
ending
that's
for
the
the
problem.
show.
That's the problem.
Is the issue.
That 2 episodes ago in
Pay
CastaBlasta,
attention, Fox.
John and I
Yeah.
came up with our ideal ending, and we kind
Tony
of
kills Kim.
we-
No
yeah,
more
we-
Kim.
we psyched
and
ourselves
Jack
up.
would go crazy wanting to kill Tony.
and it's been
And
this
he wouldn't
epic.
get cured, and
yeah. He'll get cured somehow. Whatever.
He was going to get cured from the grandchild. The
Right.
grandchild was
Oh,
going to
yeah.
cure him.
that they
Blood.
kept mentioning for no reason.
Yeah.
Now maybe they'll go
Right.
into that next season because you said that
Yeah.
this season wasn't really a solid ending.
Well, it
But
was
you can tell it's
hold
leading
on.
up
See,
to-
that
They
you
left
don't
it
have,
open. Left it open.
you don't have to end every season 24 with Jack getting kidnapped by the Chinese or this or that.
Right.
But
Yeah, really.
when I had psyched myself up to Tony's going to kill Kim and then Jack's going to go after Tony and it's going to be crazy. It
would have been so much better.
Jack's going to want to live just to kill Tony. I was like, the whole episode I was like, oh my God, come on.
Well,
come
here's
on.
the thing.
Come on,
24
kill Kim. Because in the episode before, Kim had just been kidnapped.
24 is best when Jack is angry, when he's furious. Like those
Yeah.
are the best episodes.
Yeah.
And that would lead to a
true.
whole
Well, she didn't-
season of
she
Jack being furious.
She
which would
didn't
just be
bring
amazing.
anything in this season. She
Not
didn't.
a thing. Not a thing. It was, she's just a waste of time.
She
on
got
the
kidnapped and then she saved her daddy at the last
Show. Right.
minute. Which,
typical
Yeah.
Kim.
but that said, awesome season.
Awesome
So, but
season.
Really,
Brian,
really
what'd you
enjoyable
think?
season.
What'd you think of the finale? Season 7, 24.
Honestly, pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The entire season loved it. I
Yep.
mean, it had a few valleys along the way, but for the most part,
that's
it was
pretty good, though.
solid rocking all the way.
Yeah.
The last episode was even really pretty good. It's just that, and I even didn't mind that they ended on the whole kind of fading out. Well, he's probably gonna be okay.
Yeah, we know,
maybe.
we know.
I mean, I was okay with that. It's just that the tempo of the final episode didn't have the same awesome
I agree.
that the previous
Yeah,
5
exactly.
episodes had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the good news is that Tony's still around
Yes.
and can piss off Jack.
And
to
I
no
like
end.
where they left Renee
Right.
at. She's kind of like decided to cross that line.
Yeah,
so she's a little more like
whatever.
Jack.
I ain't following no rules.
So that's-
whatever.
That could be cool.
Which now the cool
do
part
it
about
all.
all that is we've got this new chick agent that's about to get all badass,
Uh-huh.
which is great because they're adding in what's her butt.
Yep, that's the news story. Is
Yeah.
Katie Shakoff, Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica,
And-
is joining the next season to
And
be
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah,
of Scooby Doo fame.
great.
the
And
Starbuck.
she's all that.
Starbuck will be a computer analyst in CTU. So
good.
And
Did they ever end up doing anything with Janine Garofalo?
No,
She
she's
was-
a waste.
she was just a
She didn't need to
character.
be on there either.
She
No.
didn't need to be on there. She was just like somebody for Chloe to.
Well,
She's
she
like,
was.
I recognize her.
She was mostly around in the beginning because there was that uncertainty about who the various leaks were
Right.
and whatnot.
That-
she was
the
there.
tease.
She was the
Maybe
tease.
it's the famous person.
And if she's in next season, she'll end up being a bad guy.
That's
or
what it
something.
was.
Yeah. All right. So that's yeah. So the follow-up story to that is Starbuck's going to be in next season of 24 at
Right.
CTU. So we know CTU's back.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it wasn't her fault. Ron Moore sucks.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I
Yeah.
shouldn't hold it against her.
Yeah. Speaking of Ronald Moore, so they're talking about doing Battlestar. In air quotes, Battlestar, the movie.
Oh man.
Sans Ronald Douchebag Moore.
Well,
No
that's-
Ronald
that's
Douchebag
nice.
Moore.
So another reboot?
But it's a reboot. It doesn't have anything to do with any of the TV shows.
fourth one?
Lord, third.
Just so do not want that.
Why would you?
I don't know.
Who cares?
I
Who
just
cares?
can't. With the,
Go
I
to
don't
the
underst-
library.
with the-
If you
I
can't
don't-
think of anything original, go to the library, go to the sci-fi section, and pick a book.
or
Get something new.
It's just at least it won't have Ronald
Do
Moore in it.
Ringworld, for
Yeah,
God's
But
sake.
see, here's the
Who's
thing.
Xanth?
Like Ronald Moore did an awful job. I think that's universally understood, even by people who claim Battlestar is it's the best show on TV. He did an awful job.
I did apologizing for that show and regret it.
It is. It was awful. I mean, because I said it was awful, and so it is. But the miniseries was great.
Miniseries was good.
Yeah.
It was really good,
And
it
there
had
were some
great
good parts in the
effects.
first season too.
Yeah,
You know,
there really
if you
were.
think back, the first season is not that bad.
No, first season it went downhill,
Yeah.
but honestly, it was very watchable.
Yeah, I agree.
But the miniseries, which is the movie, and the original 1978 version, the miniseries was actually released as a theatrical film. So basically, they're talking about doing that again. It's just that the original theatrical film in '78 was awesome. I mean, 1978 effects, but we
Right.
still like Star Wars, so
Somebody
it
ought
works.
to. It'd be interesting. I don't know. Usually, I end up not being a huge fan, but you know how they've done like the remastered Star Wars, remastered Star Trek, remastered Battlestar Galactica would be kind of cool.
But you know what? When you remastered Star Wars, it kind of screwed it up.
I know. That's,
yeah,
that's
it
the
did.
thing.
It did. Especially
See,
like
that
the
was
pointless
that
stuff.
was the charm of it.
But,
Was
you know-
that you see the models and it's
I
cool. As a
agree.
kid,
Yeah.
you love spaceship toy
I want
models.
both.
I
That's
missed
why
like the
BSG
Muppets.
was awesome.
I was like,
Yeah.
I
Me
want.
too.
I want both. I think. And
A CGI Muppets would
what
suck.
I
Yeah.
I do like about like the remastered Star Trek is that they've repaired. They went back to the original masters and then they rescanned it and repaired some of the image, so like some of the colors are better.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
can
that's
see.
true.
You can see
That was
like
good.
some of the
Well,
makeup that you couldn't see before.
That's not really redoing the effects, though. That's
No.
just
Yeah.
making a better transfer.
Right.
Yeah,
of
that's
print.
not adding
Right.
a shock ring to the Death Star.
I would
and
like
stuff
to.
Yeah.
I would like to maybe see that,
Dude.
But I don't. know.
me too. I would
Stupid
enjoy that.
shock ring.
Yeah. All right. So while we're talking about
F that shock
Ronald
ring.
Die, Mother Effer Moore, his new pile of poo is set to air
God.
on June 26th. Virtuality is going to be on Fox June 26th.
Set your
So
TiVos.
this is his holodeck
Lord.
episode. This is his holodeck series where everybody lives on the holodeck
And dresses in white.
and nobody can die because if they die, they just wake up.
It sounds
Yep.
so interesting.
Yeah,
Dude.
not stoked about this at all.
Nothing
It's getting so
Ronald
much
Moore does is interesting.
industry hype, though.
It is because
Because he got a name for himself somehow.
Yeah,
a lot of people in the
a lot of
industry
people
like
liked
Yeah.
BSG.
one
so
last
A lot of
piece
people must be
of
really stupid.
Well, I got
They
something for TV
are.
too. Not
Good
last.
Lord.
Okay, well, one last piece just on my little news list here is
I mean, seriously, in the Next Generation, that was all of the bad episodes, for the most part, were the episodes where they were way too much in the holodeck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, we talked about this off air,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Lord.
And
We spent
and
Saturday talking about this.
and Voyager, there was never a single good, unless you like the episode where Captain Janeway goes to an Irish town back in the 1800s,
Oh, Lord.
and the other crew members are also on the town. And remember, holodeck's just one room,
Uh-huh.
as big as the room we're recording in.
Yeah.
And in one area, Captain Janeway is boning a holodeck character that she fell in love with, and in the other area, the guys are having drinks and stuff like that.
I just wanted to
Awesome.
turn off all of a sudden, like, nothing.
Yeah, power failure. All right. But one last thing I just want to shout out before we move on is
Neelix is sitting in the corner snickering.
there's possible talks of a live-action Jetsons in 2010, 2011.
What are they
Me
doing?
No. They did Flintstones.
We'll keep an eye out for that.
Lesson
Oh,
learned.
yeah,
right?
that was so great. Yeah,
So-
they should do more of that.
What I also wanted to talk about TV real quick because they just finished up Pushing Daisy. They
Yeah.
aired the last
They
three.
just finished it.
And it's just, other than the last 20 minutes of the last episode, just reminded me how great that show is.
That was a
and
good show.
How it does not. It shouldn't have ended. It was really good.
It really
and Brian
was.
Fuller went on to Heroes, which is crappy right now, and
It got
I don't
better
know.
when he came into it.
it did get better when he came into it,
See,
but it
that's
still
the
wasn't.
thing.
it's
still
still
not
kind
good.
of
He's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
But Pushing Daisies obviously just tried to wrap
Yeah.
everything up really quickly,
That's too
really
bad.
fast.
and and it suffered for it. It was
really
bad. So I'm just gonna pretend that last maybe 10 minutes didn't happen.
Yeah, just cut that out. But seriously, what a great show. Yeah,
remained consistently good.
yeah.
Just a side note, I just started watching. So when we talked to you guys, it said I really should catch the season finale of Fringe.
Yeah.
So I've just started watching the last 3 episodes of the season. I just finished the third from the end.
Okay.
So I'm now 2 away from the season finale.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it wasn't
as bad as
it was originally.
It wasn't as bad as
still
Brian
not great.
said
It was better. It wasn't
Hey, I
great.
haven't watched the end yet.
Oh.
I stopped watching after like.
It was the one where there's that
5 or
female
6.
who vampired, but she vampired spinal fluid.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not that
God.
great, but
Really?
it was still
really,
wasn't that great, but it was
creep of
better
the
than
week.
early season.
right.
Fringe.
It's gotten better.
So
we
I'm
might
hoping
have
the last
alright.
2. I'm hoping these next 2 episodes really pay off.
I think there's a slight potential of kind of like an X-Files thing where it gets better because X-Files wasn't really that strong to start off.
No.
Well,
but
I
you
don't
like the
know
characters
if
more,
it
I
has
think.
that kind of potential, but
Yeah.
it is
Also,
getting better.
One of the
Okay.
things I'd forgotten about is
yeah,
how
I'm going to give it a shot.
how fugly I think the lead actress is.
Yeah.
I think she is just not good looking at all. I
I
wanted
don't really like her.
She
I-
just looks unintelligent.
I wanted to stop
Super.
watching the
She
show
looks
after a while.
unintelligent. She's
But
just.
that's a mean thing to
Yeah.
say, and I'm a bad person. But I just wanted to
Bad
comment on that.
person.
I didn't really like Scully either, though, along the same X-Files comparison.
Let's just talk
The
about all the
redheads are
women
hot.
who are famous that we find unattractive.
Let's do
Hopefully
that.
they
Let's
hear
make a
about
new-
it so
yeah.
that they can feel sad.
call in.
I've got a couple of other new
Your mom.
TV news stories.
No.
Brian, did you want to talk at all about some on-set photos we've gotten from Doctor Who? The Master John.
So
That's a big
The Master's
spoiler.
back.
this is
for the
kind
end.
of a
Spoiler,
big
so I
spoiler.
don't know.
all right, so we'll a spoiler alert. If you like Doctor Who, stop listening right now. All right, so
We probably should have spoiled
we
it
know
in
we know the
24.
current
Don't wanna be
Doctor, David Tennant. He's gone after this current round of specials, which are really just episodes. So really,
Yeah.
there's only 4 episodes this
Being
year.
replaced by a really weird-looking doctor.
Well, they're just the same. Come on, half the Doctors are pretty weird looking.
Yeah, they
Well,
are.
they're
That's
British.
true.
They're British.
British dudes. Come
We're
on,
just
dude.
kidding, you guys.
Come on, guys.
You guys are awesome.
So apparently
I
you
was
guys
born in
aren't
England.
just superficial about women. Neat.
You're jerks.
So the cool bit though is that they're bringing the Master back.
That is
And
cool.
not
The Master's
just
an awesome
the
character.
Master, but the guy who played the Master the last time.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is awesome because he did an incredible job of
That's
He
it.
did
cool.
a really good job.
That's cool.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the
kinda-
other name they got there? Chris, you want to read
oh,
that
that's
off
awesome
real
too.
quick? Chris, go ahead and read that
Can
off.
I read it all? I know what
Yeah,
it is.
go ahead.
John, go ahead and
ahead.
read it.
Timothy Dalton.
James
oh,
Bond.
Yeah. Timothy effing Dalton
You know, an underrated Bond.
is
if I might
going
say.
to be a freaking Time Lord.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
That's
the
cool.
Master and the Doctor and the 00, I guess. But still, that is
We
so
don't know why.
freaking
I don't know
awesome.
why he's on there.
I
Has
have
he been
no
on there
idea.
before and I just haven't seen him?
No.
Yeah.
How old is he now?
Old. He's
Timothy
old.
Dalton?
I believe he's
This-
28,
this-
like every other guy who's ever played James Bond forever.
Right, right.
In my heart.
Last thing he was in that I'm aware of was The Beautician and the Beast with the nanny, Fran Drescher. I didn't see it.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I don't know
Oh,
how old he
yeah,
is.
that's
now,
right.
but
He
That
did
was
do
a-
that, didn't
yeah,
he?
that was a
That was-
really good.
He
That
was
was-
born
that was
in.
top-notch.
He was born in 1946. He's 63.
Though, really,
Born in
guys,
19
if you're James
Nice math
Bond
there,
and in a
that was fun.
legitimately good James Bond movie where it's really Bondish, that's a get out of jail free card
Yeah,
for any
yeah.
bad movie.
You know, and
Right,
if-
right.
like we said, if you're a Who fan, find the picture if you don't mind the spoilers.
Yeah.
And he looks great.
it looks awesome.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's aged too.
No.
Too badly.
Yeah.
Well, and even
Now,
even
but
so,
I have a
an old
question
Time Lord's fine.
because I've been watching the Who. I finally started.
I mean, come on, the original Doctor is older than hell. So
right. I've been watching, and if they bring back John Sim as the Master, isn't that a little outside the genre? I mean, he would have to regenerate.
No. See, here's the thing. You got to remember. So it doesn't necessarily have to be him after that fact.
But his only,
We lost track of him for about a year.
but he was only able to travel within a little window
Oh, you're
because
right.
the TARDIS was broken.
That's
but
true.
But the window. How big was the window?
About 6 months, I think they said.
Something like that, right?
So if these
There's
specials take
workarounds.
place
There's
right
workarounds.
after,
Right
the
after that,
previous-
we're okay. Which
maybe.
it doesn't.
There's work.
No, it jumps forward a little bit.
I'm smelling issues here, you guys.
Yep.
This could potentially be an issue, though.
Oh well, who cares? He's really good at playing the Master.
Seriously, you know, that's, it's kind of one of those things. Doctor
Just
Who
get
is
nitpicky.
all about having a great sci-fi story,
Mm-hmm.
and if they have to kind of push the continuity
They
things here and
do.
there, to make
They're
a
not
great
really
story, I'm
afraid of
okay
that.
with it. It's just like the original series of Star Trek. There was all sorts of problems. They had technical issues that weren't quite consistent across the board, but they were consistently trying to tell a great story. So as long as they do that, I'm totally fine.
Well, maybe like Timothy Dalton's character has a new way for Time Lords to regenerate without losing themselves.
Ooh.
Who knows?
Ooh.
That means that the mess.
That means
next
David
Doctor
Tennant
might
can
be
come
the
back.
Last Doctor ever.
That could be trippy, yeah.
All right, so should we wrap up the?
Now I'm just thinking about that for a while.
Should we wrap up this episode with a little bit of comic book news? Jeremy,
Yeah.
did you send this story in?
Yeah.
So tell me
Jeremy
about
wrote
this. So this
Well, we
is,
had mentioned this a few episodes back that
Yeah.
Ed Brubaker was doing a new
Right.
series called Reborn. There wasn't any details about it, but now Marvel has come out and released confirmation that the Reborn series is Captain America coming back.
What?
Steve
but I
Rogers,
thought he died.
Captain America,
He
will be
did.
coming back to our universe or
Yeah.
his original universe.
He
Now,
got
the
sniped.
current Captain America number 600 is currently available on the shelves.
Yeah.
The Reborn series is apparently going to spin off of that.
Okay.
I need to
So
pick
if you're
that up
interested in
very
picking
bad.
that up, maybe get 600 as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I need to go
guys.
down and grab that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pronto. So the really crazy part is, of course, Bucky is currently
Captain America.
Winter Soldier, aka Captain America,
Right.
right now. So Captain America and Steve Rogers aren't necessarily one and the same. It's just that he's Captain America.
So maybe we'll just say that Steve Rogers is coming back. And
Steve
that's another
Rogers is
thing
coming back. Yeah.
On the Marvel site, they mentioned that Steve is going to go through a lot of crap, basically, in this series. And he might not come out as a man that's fit
The same guy,
emotionally or
yeah.
physically to be Captain America.
Awesome.
Because really, the current line of Captain America is actually pretty good. I've only read some of it, but it's been
Not
good
bad.
so
I haven't
far.
seen it.
So I kind of am a little skeptical on the change, but honestly,
It's Ed Brubaker.
what Ed Brubaker has never steered me wrong, and Marvel over the last 3 years has been kind of rocking. So
There you go.
I'm not going to second guess them. If they want to rock my world, I'm going to let them rock my
They
world.
do, and they will.
they certainly will, won't they?
The Punisher.
How about that?
Hey, the comic's awesome, and also Marvel Studios didn't have anything to do with that movie.
Right. I'm just
Just
having
you
fun.
just bringing up
Poke a little fun.
little
Did they
sore
do
point there,
Daredevil?
huh?
Poking,
No.
poking a little
Electra?
fun.
Fuck.
All the really good recent movies Marvel
Yeah,
Studios did
right,
those.
right.
X-Men?
No.
No, that was-
true.
that was
But
Fox.
X-Men was good. Come on.
Well, 2 was for sure.
2 was good.
Two was very
yeah.
solid.
1 was good
solid.
too.
Yeah, 1 was good. I liked it.
Yeah, 1 was good, but 2
Hey,
was
X-Men
really
3
good.
ended with them playing chess. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love chess.
Yeah.
This is pretty neat.
I just want to see a movie with people playing chess.
Searching for Bobby Fischer. Check it out.
Maybe have Jodie Roberts in it.
So what do you think, guys? You think
Or
this
whatever her name
wraps up?
I think it was good.
I think
we've covered it.
Yeah.
I've got nothing else to say.
Chris, we're talking about chess.
55 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
I
I
think.
think we've wrapped it.
Well, I think
Stay
we should,
tuned
we-
for our chess commentary.
Well, if you would like to join in on the discussion, you can head over to JupiterColony.com.
You got it.
And it's very fancy there. It's a forum on the internet.
Yeah.
For those of you who are a little older, it's like a BBS, only you are on the internet.
Yeah.
It's very fancy. You can also get a hold of us at CastaBlasta at JupiterBroadcasting.com. Or you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/BrianLass.
Or if you want real content, I am Chris LAS.
Or if you want to ignore either of these guys, feel free.
yeah.
I'm
I'm on there. I don't
Human
even know
Gorilla.
my login.
Yeah, you don't do that.
Twitter.com/Human Gorilla.
Yeah.
There we go.
Is
Nice.
That, oh yeah, that's right.
Human
That is
Gorilla?
you are
That
on
is
there.
a great Twitter name, too.
I don't think I'm following John.
I think I'm J-Rock or something. I don't even remember. If you really want to know, ask me on the
I
forums.
think he
I'll
makes
find
it. He puts up a new one every time.
I
he
love
tries to log in.
how passionate you are about it, too, Jeremy.
Yeah. Whatever. Web 2.0. Blah blah.
All
So
right.
anyway, I think that does just about wrap
Wrapped.
everything up. Do we got any big movies coming out?
Well,
the
we
next
got
2 weeks?
Transformers.
Besides Transformers, though.
Mr. Nerdman. No.
Is there any
no.
G.I. Joe out? I guess that's got a couple
That's
months.
a couple.
away.
that's
Next
a few
episode, though,
ways.
next episode, I think we're going to have Transformers.
Okay.
And
next
I'm gonna
episode's
try to
This is
have-
also episode 10 of this season.
Yes.
Oh,
So we'll
so
figure
we're gonna
that
be
out.
wrapping it
Never
up.
announced plans there. And I'm going to try to have a Ghostbusters, the video game review for next episode.
All right, cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
There you have it, guys.
I'd like to
All
be a
right.
part of that. Invite me over.
Okay. You are over right now.
Woo!
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks
right.
again,
Enjoy it.
everybody, and you enjoy your time.
That's deep.
Nice, right?
That's deep. That's good advice.
Everybody has awesome.
That might be the shortest episode.
And is
in
working for the
months.
weekend.
57 minutes. That's not bad.
I believe.
No, I know, but like the last one when it was just you two guys was still like an hour 30.
Well, yeah, but that's we had,
E3.
EA, and then before that we had Star Trek, and
EA.
all that kind of stuff. So, we're going to wrap up because it's dinner time here in the Washington State. But I wanted to say thank you to the people in the live stream and those of you watching the video version. You're why we do all this extra work.
It's all for you guys.
We love you.
You guys,
It's all for you.
With big, wet, sloppy nerd
Damien.
kisses.
but we hope you enjoyed the live stream of the geekiest podcast out there because, we hope you tune in again.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop recording here in a second. So we're gonna hang out in the live stream just for a little bit after that. But if you
Yeah.
watching the recording, peace.
Let us know
See
your
ya.